Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So now in this video we are going to discuss about the effects of inflation, that how inflation affects different sectors of our economy. In our previous video we have done that how causes of inflation, that how inflation is caused in our economy. So now we will do the effects of inflation, that how that on which sectors it is affected. So let's start this topic without any delay. See, so the first point is which affect the inflation effect is which is on production. See how production is affected through inflation. See, there will be, first of all, the first point is, and this is, there will be a downfall of a demand. Obviously, if there is inflation, means the prices are very high in inflation time, so the demand will be decreased. And if there decrease in demand, if there is decrease in a demand, then producer will stop the production or less produce it. So first point is this, that the production decreases due to downfall of demand in inflation. Second point is producers do allocate resources in such a way that there is more demand of luxury goods and less demand of necessity goods, because there are more profits in luxury goods, because they are of very high prices, and in inflation it becomes double, because we know that inflation rises. So the third point is inflation causes misallocation of resources, means the resources are not properly allocated at the time of inflation, which leads to hoarding. Means every person do not get proper resources, means some are getting resources, some are getting less, some are not even get one resources. How? Because during inflation, traders and merchants or businessmen, in order to earn higher profits, they will start hoarding their goods with themselves so that they can sell in the future at higher prices, and consumer will start hoarding the goods in anticipation of rise in price in future. So the hoarding from both the sides, from consumer as well as producer, will lead to scarcity of goods in the market, and the resources are not properly allocated to all the people at a time of inflation. Next point is this inflation leads to speculative inactivities, means the entrepreneurs start indulging in businesses like black marketing or smuggling to earn quicker profits, because there are more profits in this. Last point is that inflation leads to decrease in a level of competition. It reduces competition, because now at the time of inflation, everyone is selling the products according to their willingness, not by seeing the market. Next effect of inflation is on distribution of income. See, the distribution of income is done among debtors, creditors, profit earners, wage and salaried class people, investors, farmers, etc. So we will study this in this group. First of all, the distribution of income is distributed to debtors and creditors. Debtors are those persons who have taken money from creditors, and creditors are those persons who have given the money to debtors. So the adverse or bad effect of inflation is upon creditors, and good effect is on debtors. Why? Because when debtors have borrowed money from creditors, the money value is high or normal, because that is not the time of inflation. But when they are returning the money after a year or 2 years, or whenever they promise, there is a time of inflation, so the real value of money evaporates or decreases. So their creditors are getting less money, so they lost during inflation, and debtors gain because they are returning less amount, and when they have borrowed, they are borrowed more amount. Next one is profit earners. Profit earners include entrepreneur, businessmen, merchants or traders. These are gain during inflation, because these income are derived from the profit. they earn profits at a time of inflation because they will be when the inflation price rises, there will be more increase in the price in factor prices or cost of production also, or the stock of goods they already possess, that prices also rises, so they are getting more money at the time of inflation, so they earn during inflation. Next point is wage owners and salaried class. The wage owners and salaried class suffer loss during inflation because wages and salaries of a people does not change with the rise in prices. They change but not as frequently as prices. So they lost during inflation. And when prices rises, the wages and salary does not rises on the spot. So they start getting lower wages or salaries, so they lost during inflation. Next one is investors. See, investors have a mixed effect on through inflation, means they get loss also, they get profit also. How? See, investors are of two types: investors in equities, and second one is investors in fixed interest earning asset. Means investors in equities are means share market. People who invested in share market will gain from inflation, because when price rises, the share price also rises, which leads to higher profit to those who have invested in share market. That's why investors in share market leads to benefit during inflation, but investors in fixed interest earning assets leads to first of all, who are investors in fixed interest earning asset means who have deposit their saving in the commercial banks. They get loss during inflation because they are receiving fixed interest on it. Next one is pensioners. Pensioners are the one who suffered loss a lot from inflation. Means pensioners, we know that pensioners are received by those persons who are retired, means they don't do any work, and pensions, we know that it is not changed so quickly or early, it is all remains the same whether there is inflation or not. So the people who get pensioners lost from inflation. Next one is farmers. Farmers are, you can also call them debtors, because they gain during inflation, because farmers produce agriculture products and the prices of agriculture products goes up in inflation, so they gain during inflation. Next point is adverse effect on saving. Means savings is also adversely affected or badly affected by inflation, because at the time of inflation, the real value of cash or money, you can say, evaporates or invisible. Means there is no value of cash at a time of inflation, because prices are so much high that its value decreases. Next effect is on BOP, or you can say balance of payment. Balance of payment also suffered loss from inflation, because at time of inflation we know that prices are high, and when prices are high, the competition in the world market decreases, because our commodity is expensive at that time, so other countries won't buy that our commodity, so this lead to fall in our export, and if exports falls, then on the other hand the imports rises, and this leads to BOP goes in negative or deficit. Next point is effects on public revenue. Means public revenue means the revenue which government is getting is called public revenue, because and the government gains during inflation, because they are receiving more amount of taxes in the form of direct or indirect, so they gain from inflation. Now, and the last point of today's topic is confidence in the country. At the time of inflation, the prices are so much high that people lost their confidence in the currency, and they start preferring commodities over money, and the monetary system almost breaks down. and people start doing barter system, is commodity for a commodity. So this is it for today's video. These are the effects of inflation. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can ask me in the comment section. If you find my video useful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this.